When I was a student pilot working for my private pilot cert, I really didn't know what to study. And so I kind of had to figure things out on my own. And it was really stressful and really confusing because there's so much information, but I didn't really know where to start and I didn't really know like what applied to me. So I have a list of regulations that you should tab in your FAR aim just to get prepared for your check ride. And if there's any information that you don't know on your check ride, you can bring up an FAA source. And this stuff is just really good to know. All right, so first off, we have 6123, which is the medical certificate, including basic med, because basic med can get brought up on your private pilot check ride and you'll have to know the limitations and requirements for basic med. 6151, which is going to be your pilot logbook. 6156, which is going to be your flight review. 6160 is going to be change of address. Pretty easy. It's good to have it tabbed though. Then we go down to 61103, which is eligibility requirements. How are you eligible to be a private pilot? That was the very first question my DP asked me on my private check ride. What qualifies you to be here? Then we have 61105, which is aeronautical knowledge, what you have to know to become a private pilot. 61109, which is aeronautical experience. This is your 40 hours minimum broken down into the different categories that you need to become a private pilot. Then we go to 61113, privileges and limitations as a private pilot. 100% will be brought up on your check ride. If you freeze up, good to have this regulation tabbed in your FAR aim. I use the digital FAR aim just so I don't have to pay for a physical copy every single year. And you can actually make tabs or bookmarks within that FAR aim. So then we go to 913, which is responsibility and authority of PIC. So as a PIC, you are responsible for emergency scenarios. You're in charge. Pretty straightforward. I think it's like 2 paragraphs, but definitely good to know. 917, civil aircraft airworthiness. So your airworthiness certificate. And this is also saying you as a private pilot are responsible for determining if the aircraft is airworthy or not, as long as you're acting as PIC, the pilot in command. So then we go to 91103, which is pre-flight action. Everything you need to do regarding the flight. As a pilot, we need to be obtaining all information regarding the flight. This pairs really well with an advisory circular, AC 9192, which it covers the pre-flight action, but also covers different approved weather sources. One question on my private check ride was, all right, can you get your weather from Apple Weather, the weather app on your iPhone? And the answer is no. It has to be approved, and those sources are in AC 9192. Pull up with that on your check ride, and your DP will for sure be impressed. So then we have 91118, minimum safe altitudes, pretty straightforward. 91151, fuel requirements for VFR day and night, 30 minutes day, 45 at night. Just have these bookmarked. Like some of them are straightforward and you might not think to bookmark it because it's like 2 sentences that you have to memorize, but it's just good to have it tabbed. Because if you freeze up, like we all have check ride brain. I've been in a check ride and they've asked me some easy question and I just froze up. It's good to have it bookmarked. 91155, another one that you should have memorized, basic VFR weather minimums. But again, if you don't know it, pull up the FAA resource 91155 in your check ride. 91157, special VFR weather minimums. 91205, equipment requirements. This is really important. We've all heard of the A tomato flames, and that's where this comes from. Then we go into 91213, inoperative equipment. They could give you a scenario. You have a landing light out or one of your nav lights is out. Well, how do you determine that the aircraft can still operate? You'll go through 91213, which takes you through if you have an MEL, a KOEL. You'll go through that list, and then if you find out that you can fly without it, PDL, placard, disable, and log it. All right, let's go to 91215, which is ATC transponder requirements. When are you required to have a transponder? 91409, which is inspections. Then we go to the back to the AIM, a few chapters that are really important to know. The first one's going to be chapter 3 in the AIM, and that covers the airspace. So all your controlled airspace, uncontrolled, VFR requirements, special use airspaces. This is a really great resource to have. Another one is chapter 8, which is your aeromedical, so hyperventilation, hypoxia. And the last one's going to be chapter 9, which is aeronautical charts and publication. Chapter 9 isn't like something you should really be studying. There's not too much information in there to be studying, but if they ask you some tricky question about your sectional chart that you just don't know, such as like what is it scaled to, then you could go to chapter 9. That could be one resource that you could pull up on your check ride. All right, I hope this helped. And if you have any recommendations of videos, just let me know in the comments and I'll get that made. All right, later guys.